So I'm going to talk very quickly about this one. It says from Peter says, hey, Bradley, can you talk about how you optimize for AI search? Okay, so this is getting back to search. But yes, there's kind of two components. Let me pull this up. All right, so there's really two components. This right here, guys, is you can look this up. It's metehan.ai, metehan.ai. I don't know how to say that, but you can see it right there. You can see it in my address bar, I think. Just go search for it. This guy's name here, he's a beast, man. This guy puts out just amazing posts. And he's on X too. So this dude here, go search for his blog, right? Or again, it's just his first name.ai. But he's got some really, really good posts, like very in-depth research posts that he's done about how to optimize for Google's discovery engine, which is how Google AI overviews and Google AI mode works. And a lot of the other language models operate similarly. And this guy's done a ton of training, research and testing on how to optimize for that, the discovery engine, which again influences how the campaign will perform. So this is the on-page optimization side of things. All right. And so that is, you guys, this is something we've had a discussion about in our mastermind recently, is because a lot of our members, I think a lot of SEOs don't understand. Maybe I'm generalizing too much here, but I think a lot of SEOs think that AI search results are like Google, and that when AI returns a result, they are pulling an entire page in. That's not how it works. It's not. Google's index returns pages. AI mode doesn't, but the Google's search does. Do you understand? It pulls back pages, but AI pulls back sections, chunks of a page that it thinks is relevant to the query. And that's what this entire article is about. It's about formatting the content. Well, number one, the content matters, right? Again, keyword optimization and Google search optimization was always about keywords and pages. That's not how it is now, though. Now it's about search queries and sections or chunks. And so when you're optimizing content, what type of content should you produce? You should be producing content that speaks directly to the human about the products or services that they're inquiring about. You understand? We shouldn't be optimizing for AI search. We shouldn't be optimizing for Google search. We should be optimizing to answer the questions, to satisfy the query of the human. And then, so that's the type of content that we should be publishing. And in the way that we should, now I'm not saying don't optimize, but I'm saying the content that we're publishing should not be publishing for the sake of optimizing for AI search or for optimizing for Google search. We should be publishing content to convert the visitor into whatever conversion goal or action we want them to take. That's what we should be the content of the content that we publish, the structure should be optimized for search or for models. Whether, when I say search, I mean either traditional search engine search or AI search. We should be optimizing the structure of the page for search, but the content should be optimized to convert the visitor. You understand? And that changes everything about SEO, in my opinion, because again, we get back to copywriting and direct response marketing as what we should be optimizing for as far as the paragraph text between the main optimization elements, the main structural elements of the page. You get it? So the structure, though, matters for AI search. More so, well, it does for Google search too. Let me take that back, okay? Because Google search, though, it's the entire page optimization, the structure of the page that matters, and how that page fits into the overall site architecture matters, thanks to the helpful content update, okay? But for AI search visibility, it's about the sections of the page. So page structure absolutely matters, because what you want to do is, and that's what this article is talking about, is about formatting the sections of the page to where, like, each H2 heading with its supporting paragraph and or H3 or subheading and paragraph text should stay within roughly at or below a 500 token limit. Okay. If you do that, it's much greater chance that during an AI search, whenever somebody's querying a model to provide a result, a recommendation for whatever, the models pull back a section of the page, a chunk from the page that it thinks is relevant to the query. And so by the way, formatting within that chunk or that section matters too, using tables, bullet lists, easily parsable data. makes the much greater chance of that being pulled back or referenced, cited by the AI search, which is not the full page. It's a section of the page. You get it? And so the reason I bring that up is because there's two ways to optimize for search, AI search right now. AIO, AEO, GEO, all that bullshit. I hate all those terms. I call it AI SEO. Okay. And that's how I'm going to continue saying it. I can't stand those other terms. So I call it AI SEO. How do you optimize for that? First, on-page optimization for producing content that speaks to the human, but the structure matters, and then structuring that content properly. Okay. But then the off-page signals is where you get the quickest results is not through on-page, it's through off-page. Hopefully that's clear. I'm going to zoom in on this a little bit, but the quickest way to get brand mentions in AI search results, which by the way, guys, if you've noticed, a lot of the times the AI search results, ChatGPT, which is like the ones that consumers use the most, like regular consumers use the most, a lot of the times they're citing brand names now in the search results when it's a type of a search query that would return brand names without even linking to the resource. Like, in other words, there's not even a link in a lot of cases. So that matters, because if there's not a link, then does it matter to have the website ranked or the website, the brand referenced in the search results because it pulled a chunk of a page from the branded website? Or can you increase the chances and the likelihood of getting AI search to cite a brand, recommend a brand, by pulling in a chunk from a page on a higher authority property? So the answer is the second part. It's easier and faster to get results in AI search or improve AI search visibility through off-page signals. That's been my experience anyways. And so I talk about two types of citations that you should be building, because that's what influences it the most. Citations. What does that mean? A citation is a brand mention, guys. Do you understand? A structured citation is what we think of as a business directory listing. That's a very specific format, a structured citation, name, address, phone number, and with or without a website, but it's a very structured format. It's what's called a structured citation. That is a traditional business directory type of a listing. An unstructured citation is a brand mention elsewhere, anywhere elsewhere on the web, right? That's a brand mention, with or without. It's usually going to be a combination of 2 or 3 out of at least out of those 4 data points minimum. So name, address, phone number, and website, or some combination of those data points. That's a brand mention, otherwise known as a citation, published anywhere else on the web. So the quickest way to get AI search visibility is by optimizing or getting the brand referencing, right? Brand mentions on high authority properties. High authority properties as a structured citation would be your traditional, big national general business directories, Yelp, Angie, Home Advisor, Super Pages, Manta, all those types of big directories. But then there's hyper or super relevant, right? Very relevant, either directories or trade publications, highly relevant articles, industry trade journals, right? Industry associations, niche forums, anything at all like that that's very topically relevant. But then there's also geographic relevance. So that would be, again, structured citations on local business directory listings like municipal governments, local chamber of commerce, but brand mentions on local blogs, events, event sites, news and media sites in the local area, doing link exchanges with other local businesses where they're, perhaps on a blog post, you reference a brand and they publish a blog about your brand. Those are all very valuable types of citations because there's different types of relevance. There's high authority, topical relevance, geographic relevance, and then press releases, guys, which is like the silver bullet right now. Press releases are crushing it for helping when you're doing press releases consistently. A one and done isn't going to do it. But if you're publishing press releases at a regular frequency of publishing, and right now, Jeremy from Press Advantage just did an enormous amount of data analysis on years of running Press Advantage. And he was showing that right now, like the sweet spot is 2 press releases a month for local businesses. That it's different for different types of businesses, but for local businesses right now, the sweet spot is 2 press releases a month for local businesses to like significantly increase AI search visibility. All of my contractor clients, we have 1 press release per month. I've actually more recently started converting some of my tree service contractor clients away from traditional link building because we've already built a good foundation of proper links. And instead of continuing to just build links to the campaign because that's part of the retainer, we've started shifting budget away from traditional link building once the proper link foundation is there, and then focusing their budget more on, 2 press releases a month. They're not cheap. They're not cheap, but they're effective. And we've been getting significant results for improving AI search visibility. And they also act as citations. I got tree service contractor clients that were approaching 200 citations in their citation tracker report. Think about that, right? Go. Any one of you guys running local business SEO campaigns, go do a citation tracker report. What are the numbers of citations that you have for your clients? The average for most local businesses is somewhere between like 35 and 65. And we're getting, some of my tree service clients are near 200 citations now over just a couple of months because we started focusing on that exclusively. Well, not exclusively, but we put a lot more emphasis on citation building, both structured and unstructured. And it matters, guys. I mean, we're talking about in areas where I talk about this in all my audits now. I think the bottom line starting point for citation quantity right now for local businesses in the US, especially if there's a public street address, is 100. You should have a minimum of 100 citations, bottom line. If you don't have that, that's where you should start, because that builds that branded location authority I've been talking about for years. It also helps to improve AI search visibility, and it will also improve maps visibility, which is where the leads are going to come from Google search, not organic.